Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the AFTN Soccer Show, live on YouTube, broadcasting hopefully to lots of different people out there. We're excited. It's the start of the MLS season for the Whitecaps. We're going to be watching along to the Whitecaps against Portland Timbers, live from Utah. Very game, we'll talk about the game, we'll talk about what happened in MLS this week, and a lot more besides. Let's just start off by introducing everyone. I'm Michael McCall. I'm joined. I was going to say I'm joined by Steve Pander.
I'm Zachary Adam Eisenheimer.
I'm Joe DC.
I'm Stephen Agen.
With very dodgy sound, but I'm sure we'll solve that as we get over the course of it. So hopefully you're watching us along on YouTube here. I know some of you will be watching it after the event. I'm going to tweet out the link very shortly to everyone, just so we can get more. We've got the chat going live. If you want to ask us any questions, comment about the game, if you can do it in the YouTube chat, that would be fantastic. If not, send me a tweet at AFTN Canada. I'll try to get through those as well. It might be a bit easier for us to do the chat, but we'll see how it goes. Before we kind of get into too much of this, I'll just go round everyone. We'll start with Zach, then Steve, then Stephen, then Joe. Just that's the order I've got you on my screen just now. How confident are you feeling going into this game, or what are you expecting from this game?
Confident of what, Mike?
Well, what are you expecting from this game?
I expect Portland. I expect Portland to beat Vancouver. I'm confident of that.
Steve?
Sorry, I didn't hear anything. I think it should be a Portland win, but I think the Whitecaps could pull a draw.
And Stephen, what are you thinking as the neutral in this?
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you, yeah.
Fantastic. I am thinking that Whitecaps have a little better shot than you guys do. I think Timbers starting the same lineup that they did as they did in midweek might hurt them.
And Joe, what about yourself?
I'm ready for pain tonight. You know, it's been a good weekend. The sun is shining, so it can't all be perfect this weekend, you know. So I'm in full Whitecaps pessimism mode, I suppose.
See, I'm thinking it's going to be 4-2 to Portland. I'm expecting a goal fest because Portland looked very good midweek against Marathon in the Champions League. The defence looks a little bit dodgy. I think the Whitecaps have got the pieces that can possibly test them. Dahomey, Caicedo, Cava. The three of them should cause some problems for them. That's why I think the Caps will pop a couple of goals, but I think overall I'm expecting Portland to be basically too strong. Let's get a quick look at the starting lineups. I've got the graphics here. We've been all fancy tonight. So here's the Whitecaps starting 11. I think it's pretty much what everyone was expecting. In goals, let's pretend we're at BC Place, because this is the first home opener in all of the Whitecaps MLS history that we've not been there. Every single game's been at BC Place. Every single game we've been there. We've not got the chance to do that this year. They're not even in Vancouver this year. But it is a home game, albeit down in Utah. So let's channel BC Place here. In goal, we've got number 16, Max.
Oh, Crepeau.
Crepeau is what you were going to say. You're letting me down early, guys. Jeez. All right, I'll just go through the team then.
Yeah,
so
I think that's
across
better.
the back line, Jake Nerwinski, Ranko Vasilinovic, Andy Rose, Christian Gutierrez. No surprises there. Along the middle, 4-4-2. We're expecting that. It's basically the same lineup that started against Chicago last Saturday, the same lineup that started against the Real Monarchs, all without Leo Owusu, who picked up a hamstring knock in that game against Chicago on Saturday. So we've got Deber, Caicedo going up the right wing, Gianni Bikel in the middle with Michael Baldissimo, too many Baldissimos, coming in as the midfielder for Owusu. Russell Tiber on the left wing, up front Christian Dahomey, Cavallini. What do you make of that lineup, guys? Strong that they could get out?
I'd like to amend my confidence in this lineup after reading this lineup for the first time. Yeah, it'll be lucky for them to get a result out of this. It doesn't look good for them.
Yeah, I look at that left side and it kind of fills me with fear. Like the right side could pass for an MLS right wing, right? You have a new South American winger who's supposed to be a play driving player, and then a solid MLS weathered right back. Then you look at the left side as a player who typically has played defensive midfielder on the wing, who is allergic to forward passes, and then an untested fullback who has a very good upside. I think is very good on the ball, but and then you have Rose as well at centre back outside of his natural position. So if we could black out that part of the screen and just look at the right side, I think I'd be a lot happier.
It looks like Joe's against the Commonwealth.
Joe, no, just to put a little pushback about that, Joe. I think, and I know a lot of people have gone on about this over the years. I think a lot of Russell Tybert's play is dictated by how he's being asked to play by the coaches that he's had. So I think, like you saw in the Martin Rennie era, when he was in an attacking position and he was given license to go forward and he was encouraged to attack, you saw the abilities he has to contribute in those ways. I think a lot of what has happened with him in the more recent times is his coaches have asked him to play a certain way, which has dictated the type of passes that he has made and the decisions that he has made on the field. And so I think, although I understand where you're coming from, I think it's a little bit harsh to put it on the players' own decision making as opposed to him submitting his will to the purpose and the goal of the team.
I think that's very fair.
Look, he's giving the rallying call right now in the huddle.
Yeah.
Oh, you're definitely behind us then, Zach.
I'm sorry.
I think that's fair, Zach, because I think maybe, we have the benefit right now of making some comments before the game. If Tybers is drifting too far inside and taking up Baldissimo's space, I think that'll be a problem. If he is, hugging the touchline and creating some overlap opportunities for Gutierrez, then I'm happy with him fulfilling that role. So let's see if it's coaching or if it's actually, built into the player after years and years of asking him just to pass the ball backwards.
Last thing on the Whitecaps starting 11 is the game has just kicked off for me, so we can see where everyone else is with their streams. So I'm 5 seconds into it now, but look at that bench. That is a young bench. That could possibly be the youngest ever bench in an MLS match. I don't know that for certain, but I mean you've got Thomas Hasal, Theo Bair, David Egbo, Ryan Raposo, Patrick Metcalf, Frankie Fascineri, Demiano Paseo. That's a young bench. There's not going to be a lot that the Whitecaps can kind of rely on there. If they need something off the bench, you have to think that the two that's going to come on is going to be Bair and Raposo for sure, but I'm not expecting that there's going to be a lot of subs tonight.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I'm around a minute behind you, Michael, just for reference. So.
Right. So we'll try not to spoil too much for you. Let's get the Portland lineup quickly, and we'll start with Stephen for this. It's an unchanged lineup. Oh, and we'll just break off here as the Whitecaps send a ball across the box. Lovely cross in there from Dahomey, just eluding Cavallini. Whitecaps starting on the front foot. You like to see it, and I feel that's what they need to do. Maybe see if there is any legginess in the Timbers from playing midweek. I think that was Montreal's kind of modus operandi for trying to get the better of Toronto, and it kind of worked because Montreal came out on all guns blazing. So I think the Whitecaps trying to do the same here. Yeah, we'll bring Stephen in now. So unchanged starting lineup from that team that very comfortably got past Marathon on Tuesday night. Are you surprised by that, or was this what you were expecting?
I guess I am surprised. I feel like Portland's got quite a bit of depth, and I expected to see them with some rotation. Just in particular, I mean, we're so early in the year, I mean, these first few MLS games so often are a battle of who is the more fit side, and so I really do think that could be a major factor tonight.
And it's a strong, Yimi Chara, hat-trick on Tuesday night. He's going to be the guy to watch. Diego Valeri, always the guy to watch. Yeah, it's a tough order you have to feel for the Whitecaps, and I think if they can get an early goal, and it looks like they're certainly pushing for that just now, that might be their best hope of doing things. Before we go any further as well, I want to point out that I am drinking just an Iron Brew, which you can't actually see because of my background. There we go. Iron Brew, trying to be as Scottish as possible, in front of East 5 Stadium at Bayview. But for Portland, I'm wearing my Rockaway Beach Oregon hat because I miss getting down to the Oregon coast. And I was going to wear my East 5 top for this, but in light of the news that's come out today, I've gone with my Against Modern Football t-shirt. So we'll be talking a little bit about that later in the show. Also, stay tuned at half-time because Zach and me are going to be picking our best 11 from the 2011 Upper Deck cards that we have opened so far. I think mine's is an unbeatable starting 11. And then Joe, Stephen and Steve will vote on who has the best team. And then we're going to do some more card and sticker opening because that's what everyone wants. But here's Portland on a break there, and basically that was crap. Let's also set the ground rules. If you want to swear on this, feel free to swear. There's a good chance I will be. Just getting used to when I'm going to be doing my East 5 one on Tuesday on Scottish League One Decision Day. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of swearing on that one. I'll try not to use the C word in this one. It's fine in the East 5 show. But yeah, feel free to swear or do anything that you want. Feel free to come in. Also, if any of you guys need to nip away or you have to go away for whatever reason, just like switch your camera off and mute your mics and you can come and go as you please. But get your questions in on the chat. I want to thank Austin Sweeney, first of all, for being the only person to answer Crepeau when I said Max. I'm disappointed in you guys anyway, but Zach, if you could maybe keep an eye on the chat, that would be fantastic. I want to say hi to everyone that's joined us. Naveed, Austin, Gordy. Gordy's enjoying watching the five of us talk about the game. Says it'll be far more entertaining than the game itself. Let's hope not. Let's hope we've got an entertaining game. Although the quieter it is, we've got more chance to talk about some other stuff. It's going to be an interesting season. Now, we've done our prediction shows and we've got Joe and Stephen on. Joe talked a little bit about what he thought of the Whitecaps build in the off-season, so we'll get a little bit from him as well. But I want to start off with Stephen. Down in Seattle, for anyone that doesn't know, Stephen is from Radio Cascadia. Make sure you give them a follow on all their social media channels. We'll be plugging that as the show goes on as well. They're also live tweeting this game as well, so check out their Twitter. But Stephen, what do you make of the West this year? Who is your tip to be the winner? Steve and me went for Minnesota. Didn't he get off to a very good start on Friday night, but things can only be up in that regard. Seattle is who I thought was maybe going to be second in that regard, but they looked good. A few other good results this weekend. It's early days, of course, but what's your thoughts on the West? Who have you got to win the West this year?
I think I have LAFC to win the West. I do expect Sounders to have a down season. I think Portland is perfectly capable of getting up there near the top three. I really like some of the moves, just the way that the team is shaping up so far. The Char brothers looking fantastic, and that was so dominating in CCL. I think they're really well built. I really like what Savarese is doing. LAFC, despite the losses, despite the dysfunction yesterday with Vela subbing off and all of that, I just think that they've got the resources, they've got the squad. I was with you about Minnesota United. I thought they were going to be really good, and I'm not quite as sure now. And as far as Vancouver goes, I'm excited to see the Whitecaps. I think this is maybe the first year where I feel like they've really kept all of the best pieces that you could expect to keep. There have been guys who have moved on where we've made a good profit from it. But in this case, it seems like the guys you wanted to build around actually stuck around, and you've added some pieces to it. And I think that's probably new. And so I'm expecting improvement.
Well, do you have them as a playoff team?
I feel like, I don't know. I hate to hedge, but I want to watch them for like 20 minutes or half an hour before I say,
Well, I'm impressed with the first 7 minutes here. I don't know about you, Joe, but you're probably at 6 minutes. You're that far behind us, but it's like they're looking sharp. But Portland's getting a bit of the ball, knocking it about a little bit. I mean, do you have them making the playoffs this year? I do. I think they're just going to sneak in.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys discuss which side of the line the Whitecaps would fall, and at the
Chance
start
for
of my
Portland. I'll just cut you off here. A lovely bell. It's 1-0 to Portland, but the flag is up. It is not counting. Don't worry when you see this, Zach and Joe.
Yeah, I'll watch with bated breath, but I'll know. Thanks for
Look offside on the live.
Oh yeah, but it's not the scorer that was offside. It was the
No.
cutback. So there we go.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, just a quickly about the game. Mora headed the ball back to Chara. Beautiful finish by Jimmy Chara, just continuing his play from Tuesday night. But Mora was definitely offside when the ball came through.
And
there,
he beat Andy Rose bad, Michael.
Yeah, that's a worry for what might be ahead in the remaining 82 minutes. But yeah, anyway, sorry, Joe. What were you saying about the Whitecaps there?
Well, just to add to the point about Andy Rose, he didn't even get close. Like I'm
No.
watching now. Oh, yeah, that's really concerning. Like thinking you have to rely on a defender. That, oh my God, the more I watch it, the worse it is. Anyway, the Whitecaps. Yeah, I wasn't sure which side of the line they would fall in terms of the playoffs. I think off-season optimism is a dangerous thing because we build it up as the off-season goes by, and then after the first 3 games, we kind of get grounded again. So I still think the Whitecaps are outside of the playoff line. That doesn't mean anything at this point because they just need to get some results. But I like the signings, but ultimately, the teams in the West are very strong also. So I have them finishing outside of the playoffs.
I'm just watching I'm watching this challenge on Gutierrez again. I don't think Van Rankin actually made, like, initially he kind of looked like he was going to hold his knee, then he held his ankle. I don't think Van Rankin actually touched either of those parts of his body. I think he maybe twisted a little bit as he came round, but it's a free kick to the Whitecaps here in the 10th minute. So, I mean, see if we can get this ball whipped in onto the head of one of our guys. I'd put it back, so I was a little bit behind there, but no, it came to nothing. But there we go. I mean, we saw last week against Chicago, we got a goal from a set piece. We got a goal from pouncing on a mistake. We got we got, I guess, 2 set piece goals because one was from a corner, one was from a free kick. But set pieces could be key for this one so far. And like just watching the Timbers, the Timbers just look so dangerous every time they've got the ball in the attack. And the Chara brothers as well look like they're on form as well tonight as another ball comes flying into the Whitecaps box. But this one, has it gone out for a throw-in? No, he's kept it in.
The fullbacks are pushing when the Whitecaps are in possession. The fullbacks are so high. Like it must be with Russell Tybers on the left side. You expect Gutierrez to go overlap, but so far I've noticed on both wings, Nerwinski on the other side really do have license to go forward. So you worry about the transition and getting caught out on the counter attack really.
And a chance there for Caicedo. So I'm at 11 minutes now, just to get a rough idea as to how far behind people are here.
35 seconds behind you.
Okay. What about you, Zach?
What are you at right now?
11:15.
Yeah, I'm about 16 seconds behind.
Okay, so Joe's furthest behind. That's the European time difference thing. I thought you would be out in the interior there, Zach. But...
Well, to be fair, Joe has the antenna plugged into a potato, so.
Oh, again with the potato jokes. It's like you're gonna get a bad rip.
Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Joe. I hope that wasn't offensive.
It's all good.
It was a follow-up joke from our pre-show.
Yes. Which always good for the folk that went on our pre-show chat. But let's have a little look at the chat. We'll see what we've got going on in here, if there's any questions. So Tyler Black asks, do you think there's anything Nerwinski can do to hold on to his place, or is Gasper's inclusion inevitable? I think it's inevitable as the regular starter, but I do think that Jake will see a lot of minutes because there's a lot of weeks because of the international breaks that there's 2 games in a week. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some rotation in that. I could see Gasper getting maybe 2/3 of the season, Jake getting a third. I guess it depends how soon he's up to speed. He's there training just now. But I guess needs must had Egbo on the bench today, and he's basically just arrived and is training as well. But Gasper's probably going to be a few weeks behind that. Anyone think that Jake can beat out Bruno Gaspar for the regular starting spot?
I think that once Bruno gets up to speed and everything like that, I think it's just too much talent there for Jake to hold on to the spot. I think Jake is going to be very important this year, though, considering all the people going. Because I think at sometimes Bruno Gaspar is going to have to move up the field into a wing position.
Possibly. Aaron Campbell says, yep, for him, Gasper has to be the starter. Austin Sweeney thinks Jake will continue to get chances, but hopefully one grabs the reins and runs with it. And you do have to feel that is definitely going to be Gasper that's going to do that. Now, Austin Sweeney poses a question I was going to ask you guys. I don't know if Stephen, if you've heard anything, or Zach, if you've heard anything. Have they decided on what's happening with the Cascadia Cup this year?
There hasn't been they've delayed the decision. So we'll see what happens. I'm guessing they're going to do the same with the fact that Vancouver's not going to be able to be playing any of these games, with any kind of actual meaningful support in the stadium, and the fact that their announcement is going to be coming after the first game, you got to imagine they're going to do what they did last year, or
wait to see if Portland win or not.
Yeah, no, I don't think I can't see them with all the kerfuffle that was made when it was just Portland and Vancouver in USL and ESL and stuff. I think they're going to want to be more cautious than otherwise. Agen, have you heard anything?
I saw that there was supposed to be an announcement today, and then I haven't seen any announcement. And so I'm kind of figuring if they didn't announce that the competition's starting today, then it must not be. Kind of just the default, I think. I wonder if they'll try like an abbreviated Cascadia Cup if Whitecaps are able to make it back to BC at some point during the season.
Possibly, because there's a few games, Cascadia games later on in the year.
Just to clarify, there should be an announcement in or before July of this summer is what they're saying.
Wow. Oh, so they are going to wait to see if there's games then. That must be what it is. This just makes total sense. They'll wait to see if there's going to be games in BC. If there isn't, I'd imagine there's not going to be a Cascadia Cup.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll just wait to see how the Whitecaps do, how many points we've got. If we're out of it, he's in a chance here for Portland. A lovely curler just past the far post. Crepeau had it covered all the way, though. Didn't see who got that shot off.
Stephen, we do have a question in the chat, though, from Naveed. He wants to know, where is it? How you like the Colombians' return so far?
Yes, I was going to ask you that as well. It's that good. His picture's frozen. His internet's died at the thought of mentioning Freddie Montero in the show. I think Zach set him up there. We'll see if he comes back. But yeah,
this is really impressive.
Oh, yeah, you completely frozen us there, so we didn't hear any of that.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. So, what's your thought on Freddie? He's looking sharp.
I thought it was a great start. I'm excited personally. I first started watching him when I was in middle school with Seattle, and so I'm glad that he's back in the city. I really enjoy watching him play, and I think he has something to offer the Sounders this season, particularly with Ladero out at the beginning of the year. I think that he can be useful, and you saw it in the opener. He's still got a lot left to offer, I think.
Yeah, very much so. A goal and an assist on Friday night. If anyone didn't see the game, very, very comfortable. 4-0 win for Seattle over Minnesota. Very surprised at how comfortable that win was in the end. Now, first thing I mentioned, that there was a crowd in at, I was going to say Century Link. It's not called that anymore. I forget what the new name is.
Lumen Field, I think.
Oh, yes. So there was a crowd in there. Now, there was also a crowd at Portland's game on Tuesday night against Marathon in Champions League. I've got to say, I tweeted this out on Tuesday. I was so envious. It's like it came up on the screen. The sun is beating down on a beautiful stadium. There's fans in the stand. I don't want to bring the mood down really early because the Whitecaps aren't losing yet, but we just seem so far away from getting that here just now. And just looking around MLS this weekend, I mean, there was crowds in everywhere. Dallas had a crowd in of over 8,000, which is their normal home attendance. I don't think there was any COVID restrictions there at all. So, I mean, things are getting back to normal. Did anyone watch Miami LA Galaxy today? Because the crowd that was in at that, first of all, great atmosphere. But holy shit, there was absolutely no social distancing going on. They were crammed in behind both goals. And it just makes me anxious seeing that as somebody that's not had the vaccination yet. Even if I'd had my first dose of the vaccine, I don't know if I would be comfortable being in a crowd that jam-packed close together. It just seems like anything goes just now down in Florida. It's kind of crazy.
They've been waiting a long time for that game, with last season being cancelled. So it did
good turnout from the LA fans as well for it.
Yeah, like Florida seems to have its own set of rules. I'm not claiming to be an expert there, but
that's just in life in general.
It's true.
Not even anything to do with MLS or
but I get what you mean, Michael, because it just looks weird now after a year of not having fans in stadiums. It kind of catches me off guard, and I don't know what it's going to feel like the first time I go back to a stadium. Even it's going to be, at that point, it's probably going to be a year and a half between that Whitecaps home opener last year. So yeah, definitely kind of a envious glance over the border at what's allowed down there, but for good reason, I think, with vaccine.
Like in Scotland, they've been talking about possibly having household bubbles going to the games, or family bubbles, which gives teams like Cowdenbeath there a big advantage because they're all related to each other anyway. So, I mean, they can get a full attendance in, get the whole town in there. So,
oh, Michael, I knew you were going to say that. But that was the opening of the stadium, right? Like, that's partly why it was such a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So, it was. Yeah, it's hard. Like I don't know what all the restrictions are. I don't know what all the how vaccine is going. I don't know what all the stipulations were to get into the game. But I agree with you, Michael. It is kind of awkward watching things. You're like, oh, this feels awkward, or just because of where we're at in our specific space in terms of public gatherings and wearing masks and physical distancing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, obviously we all long for the day when we can get back to.
I even feel weird watching, like, watch a movie and see a large crowd now. It's like, it catches me off guard. We've been socially programmed differently in the last year.
Now, what do we think? It's a yellow card for Ranko there. I was a little bit worried when I saw the replay there because he seemed to go over the ball and step on Mora's foot. And in modern day football, I don't know what's a sending off anymore. But he's given the yellow. He doesn't seem to be reviewing it. So I think he might be quite fortunate there. I don't know what you guys think.
In this world, yeah. He could go. I mean, I'm not saying I think it should be a sending off, but he could.
Yeah, for me it's not. But in modern day football, I don't know anymore.
I don't think you can give a red for that. Yellow seems fair to me.
Yeah.
Yellow looked right to me. I'm with you.
Free kicks floated in. You'll never beat Max Cripple. That's a good start from the Whitecaps. I guess we should talk a little bit about the game for a sec. It's been a good start. They're knocking the ball about well. I still worry every time Portland's on the ball. But like, Dahomey, it's just looking like he's causing issues out there. Great little bit of work holding the ball on there. Him and Gutierrez are linking up really nicely for a couple of occasions now. Caicedo's been a little bit quiet. Cava's been a bit quiet as well. For me, Dahomey's the guy that's running the show.
Yeah, and it seems like Gutierrez is getting forward more forward than Tybert is. Tybert seems to be holding back.
Yeah, Gutierrez is way up the pitch. Most of the time, Tybert's behind him.
Didn't expect quite this much of the game to come through the left side for the Whitecaps, but it's worked.
Not with Ali not being on the pitch either, because like Ali, He led the Whitecaps last 2 seasons, Stephen, in assists. They weren't a lot of assists, but I mean, he did lead them in it. So a lot of the stuff's come up to the left. So obviously that's how MDS is kind of still wanting them to play.
In the chat,
sorry, this is probably a last second change from Joe. MDS must have heard Joe's comments pre-game about the left side.
In the chat, who is it? Aaron Campbell is wondering if 53-year-old Ali Adnan has had his second shot of the vaccine yet.
Well, 52-year-old Michael McCall hasn't had his first, so probably not. Oh, I for anyone that's watched our previous streams, you might notice I don't look like I'm filming this on a potato tonight. I've invested in a new HD camera, which is really showing my age, so I've got the special filter on to try and get me to look younger. As the light disappears here, I also have a light on the camera that I'm going to try. So we'll be experimenting with that throughout the rest of the podcast. I don't know that I like being lit up, but we'll see.
Just make sure you have sunscreen on.
Oh, yes. Yeah, me and Joe, any lights hitting us at all, I think we'll possibly struggle. We should have a competition, Joe, to see who's the paler. I think it's going to be me, though.
I doubt it. I was out in the sun for 15 minutes today, and I feel a warm glow off my skin already.
But let's talk a little bit about some of the action around MLS this weekend. And now this is a huge game for the Whitecaps because they're only 3 points off first place with this game in hand that they're making up just now. A 5-goal win for the Whitecaps tonight will see them go top of the West. A draw where they score a goal gets them in the playoff places. And a win also gets them in the playoff places. So huge already. And here's a chance for Portland. Mora is given a lot of trouble to that back line. They don't seem to be dealing with these balls that's going into him at the back of the box. Andy Rose looks a step off it at centre-back. I'm not enjoying him there tonight.
Couldn't tell if that was Rose or Renko. I think it was Rose with the swing and the miss at the top of the box there on the cross. That was not pretty. And then I think you can also see Caicedo kind of starting to check back into midfield and into the center a little bit farther to just try and get a piece of the action now.
But I'll be honest, if we can come out of this with a point, I'm going to be delighted because I didn't really see us getting many points from these first 4 games. I thought maybe Montreal, but then just seeing the demolition job that Montreal handed out on Saturday, I'm not as confident as that now. I'm a bit more confident of getting something from Toronto, and we'll kind of come to that as the show goes on. So let's talk a little bit about the weekend's action, but we'll start talking about Seattle, Stephen, because I know you were there, enjoying the action in the flesh. That must have been a happy press box because you guys cheer at everything, you homers.
It's like I mentioned earlier. I really do expect Seattle to have a down season. And sorry, am I cutting out again?
No, but you froze initially, but we heard what you said, so that's good.
Good. I really do expect Seattle to be a little bit down. I was really particularly impressed with the play of Josh Atencio. He's an 18-year-old, and he's starting at center midfield. I personally, and just like maybe I am apparently in the minority on this, I think it's a terrible idea to start teenagers at center midfield in league games. Like, I don't see that. Like, there are a lot of different ways to get guys on the field. You can sub them on, you can play them on the wing, you can play them in other competitions. There are a lot of ways to play guys without playing teenagers from the start at center mid. But if he's going to do that, and if Leyva can do similar, then Sounders might be a little bit more okay until summer than we thought.
I thought Christian Roldan had an absolutely fantastic game for me. He was the guy that kind of ran the show for them. I know Rui Diaz got the goals and Freddie got the goal and the assist, but I mean, Roldan was making things tick. And to be clicking that much this early in the season, I think is a worrying thing for the rest of the league, Joe.
Yeah, clicking is the right word for that game. Like, it was scary how cohesive it all seemed, and the goals were fantastic. And yeah, like, what can you say? Like, what weakness can you see in that team in a league where consistency is kind of the most elusive thing? Like, more than big wins or more than clean sheets, even like a run of games where you're consistent is what is the difference between a playoff team and a team outside the playoffs. So I know Seattle will have their sights set more than just making the playoffs. Personally, I have them winning the conference. So, and missing so many starters yesterday and getting such a big win too was very impressive.
I tell you what's impressive here, the Whitecaps are keeping the pressure on, forcing a pair of corners in a row here. Michael Baldissimo's delivery from these corners has been good, and we just need to take advantage of some height in the box. Maybe Cava, Ranko. Wow, a lot of guys on the goal line here. Obviously, this is something they're working on. The ball comes over, it's bouncing around, and Portland's going to hit on the counter here. And this is then where I get worried, because all our central defenders are up in the other box. Oh, lovely, lovely. That's my kind of foul. Professional foul. Take him out when you know your defenders are still trying to get back. And he's just getting a talking to for that. Mwah, Gianni Bikel. That's the experience you want.
What do you guys think of the red card for professional foul proposal that bounces around every few years?
There probably should be. Like, if it is a professional foul, it should be a sending off. It's like if some guy's running in on goal and you chop him down, then obviously that's going to be a sending off. But if it's a professional foul solely because you know that they're breaking and your defenders aren't going to be back, that should probably be a sending off as well, I think.
Yeah, like that thing, the professional foul where you're fouling the player so that you prevent like a 2-on-1. Like in the rules, that's a yellow. But I know lots of journalists in the UK, like Jonathan Wilson and others, they want red cards for that because it's basically doing the same thing. You're stopping action from happening.
Absolutely.
Well, the thing is, if that does occur, then don't complain about all the red cards that come up, because these guys are not going to be able to mend their ways initially. It's the same thing with VAR. Everybody wanted VAR. All of a sudden, then when it came into play, nobody wanted it at all.
I'm an adamant defender of VAR, and even the offside, the way that offsides are implemented with VAR, I would be very happy to get into a debate about that. There's this idea of we're rewarding precision defending that I think VAR does very well. Like if someone is offside by the length of a foot, it's because the defender stepped up that length of the foot. That's a decision that the defender made. So I know it doesn't apply in every circumstance, but I think VAR gets a bad reputation sometimes just because it stops a goal.
Yeah, don't start me on VAR. Another corner for the Whitecaps here. The delivery into the box, I think, has been great so far, but all our guys seem to be on the goal line, which is obviously what they've been working on, and they're not coming out, and Portland's just mopping everything up that comes to the box. We just either haven't got the height there or the aerial presence or whatever's happening, it's just not working. And then it's just letting Portland get some quick counterattacks every single time by the looks of it.
I can just jump in on the last point quickly. I definitely agree it's not palatable to have any type of freebie, particularly for stopping a breakaway or something like that, even if it's a 2-on-1 instead of a guy in on goal 1-on-1. I just wonder if there's a way to make that a little bit less lenient without going straight to red. I wonder about upping the penalty for yellow card accumulation, maybe lowering the bar for it, or adding a second suspension game or something like that. And I just wonder if maybe it's that the yellow card penalty is a little bit too soft, or just if there's some more room in there to maneuver before just giving out twice as many reds, because now we've included this broad category.
This is where a sin bin option would come into play, which I know had been proposed. They were going to look at it in the lower leagues. But
then you get into situations where, Cork City's ground isn't big enough for all the players that would go in the sin bin and that kind of thing. So it's a tricky topic. And it's new. It would be new to the sport, right? Like it works in rugby because there's so few offenses that deserve a yellow card.
Well, you proposing a red card for that foul is new to the sport too, because that's never been done either. So it's one or the other. I think a red card would be more to the disruption of the game, the flow of the game, because then you can use it well under.
The argument in the other direction is that after a certain amount of time, players would stop doing it. Like there was that study out of Italy where the number of dives have gone way down because VAR is in now. the number of yellow cards and red cards have gone way down because players know they can't get away with things like before. So after a certain amount of time, things will correct themselves, you think?
Yeah, I was on a really interesting call with Howard Webb and Ishmael Elfath on Tuesday. It was one of the MLS calls that they had for Media Week. And I didn't know whether to ask a proper question or ask Ishmael Elfath why he hates the Whitecaps and always gives decisions against us. But I decided to go for the proper question. So I was asking about one of my pet peeves, which is the crowding of refs and how it's not disappearing from the game. Because there is VAR now. There's no need to crowd the ref. Everything's going to get looked at. If he's given a penalty, don't crowd him. It's going to get looked at anyway.
But that's a habit, right? That
needs to go. Yeah. Pisses me off so much. Ishmael, my good buddy Ishmael, also agreed. It annoys him as well.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be. I mean, I don't want the sin bin from your egg chasing, but I think that the way they treat the officials from egg chasing would be nice to see in football.
Now, just seeing Diego Valeri on the screen there with his man bun, I don't know if anyone. Oh, we'll just pause as this throw-in comes in.
Michael, is it not a case of if you got it, flaunt it?
Well, obviously most of us don't, which is why we're wearing hats. The people with... Well, actually, Stephen does have a hat and hair. So, yeah.
Oh, I got plenty of hair too.
Well, okay. Zach and me are bald, is basically what we're saying. But Zarek Valentin, I don't know if any of you saw his tweet of the weekend. He's like, what's the over-under on 3.5 man buns per MLS match? I normally go with the over, I think. It's all these South Americans with their man buns.
Any game with Portland is over for sure.
I don't know if Joe was at any of the TSS games that Gideon and me called, and also at some UBC games as well, where I got quite obsessed with calling folk out for their man buns.
Yeah, I was there. It's burned into my memory.
Oh, chance for Portland. Deflected.
Oh, off the bar.
Man bun nearly got it.
I'm excited for these next 10 seconds. Hang on. Let me watch it.
Who did this deflect off? That
Andy was Rose. A bad play by Gutierrez.
Andy Rose.
What do you think about it? If that Andy Rose possibly stopped the cross from getting in there.
Yeah. But Gutierrez, look at him get beat here. Right.
Oh, Gutierrez. Earlier I thought you were playing Rose.
No, I was just saying it had come off Rose.
Yeah.
But yeah, that another let-off for the Whitecaps. This could be our charmed life here. This could be where we use our 9 lives for the season in this one.
Are you proposing a Whitecap sitcom, Our Charmed Life?
I don't know. Is that an American sitcom? I don't know that one.
I don't know.
Oh. I would watch a sitcom with Cava, Dahomey, and Caicedo. That would be fun. Or an even funnier one, Cava and Osorio. Friends reunited, playing for rival teams. Oh, we should have a bet as to how quickly Cava kicks Osorio in next week's match. It was 4 or 5 minutes last time round.
Oh, and it was a good kick.
That was my tackle of the year. That won the AFTN award for that.
David Norman would have been proud of that.
Yes.
Which one, senior or junior?
Both.
Yeah. Just to quickly go back to the Seattle game, because obviously Zach knows how much I love talking about my favourite Sounders.
Did you have a champagne shower after the 4-0?
There was another kind of shower had, but we'll just leave it at that. We're on YouTube. It doesn't matter if we get demonetized. We're not monetized to begin with. So that's why if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because we want to get to 1,000 subscribers.
So eventually we could get demonetized.
Yes.
That's our goal.
That's our goal, to get to 1,000 subscribers and then swear constantly and be demonetized when we've got a chance to make some money.
And you froze Steven.
He's
unfrozen.
It's watching this game. He's just frozen in awe of the 2 best teams in Cascadia playing out a game of chess out here. Here comes Rusty Tybert. He's not looking rusty out there. That pass looked a little bit rusty though. And a lovely foul at the end of it. Anyway, finishing off about Seattle. First of all, Dane St. Clair, nice penalty save. No one can seemingly beat him at penalties. Top Canadian keeper. João Paulo's goal that made it 1-0. Was that your goal of the weekend? I think it was probably my goal of the weekend. so far.
Yeah, it was the goal of the weekend. Did anyone else find it like some of these people talking about how many great goals there were this weekend a little bit like overrated? Or
I was away to say the same thing. I thought there was tons of great goals this weekend.
I didn't think
There was
there was
that goal. There was that goal. I forget which game it was, but it was definitely a cross.
Oh,
Yes, Nashville.
oh,
Nice
man.
save by
One against Cincy, right? That one was really good. I mean, I don't think he meant it, but it was a great hit.
I think you're thinking of East Fife Peterhead, Scott Agnew's winner in the 78th minute. It was a cross cum shot. Everyone knows how much I love my cum shots. Scott Agnew had the best one. But what a save from Max Cripple.
Okay, so what were other top goals?
There was loads. There was Nashville. The guy that tied it up for Nashville.
Yeah, that's the one that was a cross.
Oh, is that the one you were talking
Cross.
about? There's a few other long range ones. I'm sure.
that was a YP Lee special.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
There
a
was one
corner
from
getting
outside the
whipped in.
box that was not that great.
Well, you're ahead of me now.
At least I went back from the mic there. Aspria there. Should have done better. 39th minute, still 0-0. I'm happy. I know they've rode their luck a little bit, but when you look at that back line out there and you look at the bench that we've got, no big complaints so far.
He'll have dreams about that one.
What's the prediction of how many subs the Whitecaps use? Should we have?
I think 2.
Three tops.
Actually, maybe 3 if they decide to bring Metcalf on for Baldy, depending on how tired he is. But I think we'll see Barrett and Raposo. But then that's it. Unless Rose is having a mare and they want to get in Fashionary, but
he is having a mare. Like he looks so far behind. Like at least 2 or 3 chances for Portland have directly been because he's been half a step behind his player. The one that came off the crossbar was just pure luck. It didn't go in.
This is why I love having you here, Joe.
he says it as it is. If we're talking about João Paulo's goal maybe being goal of the weekend, let's talk about the miss of the weekend from the other match on Friday night. Houston, San Jose, Wando. Oh my. It's like all-time league leading goal scorer. Now, Stephen, you must have been having flashbacks to the US-Belgium game when that happened.
Always, every time. That will always define his career for me. He scored like literally, and I say this as someone who's watched a lot of Cascadia soccer games. He scored literally 1,000,000 times against Cascadia clubs, but I still just purely remember the Belgium stuff.
I mean, I think my gran could have put that ball in the back of the net in Houston on Friday night, and she's been dead over 20 years. So, I mean, that's how easy a chance that was. I also think she could have saved that penalty that Euro took for TFC on the Saturday. But we'll come to Saturday's game shortly as Portland have another attack. Ooh.
The keeper, he didn't have to go early on that penalty. He was so bad.
No, he could just have stood still and he'd have saved it. But, wow, Portland's pushing hard now. And the Whitecaps defence, they seem a little bit all at sea as these crosses are coming into the box. I don't know if there's just lack of communication there. I'm just watching Andy Rose there as well. He doesn't know whether to push forward. Ranko had pushed forward to get kind of the other side of Chara, and Rose didn't know whether to go with him. He was going back, going forward. I feel there's a bit of a lack of communication on the back at the moment.
They seem very narrow too in defending. Like that ball that got to the fullback was, like, I think Christian Gutierrez was inside the semicircle outside the box. Like, should be way further out to prevent that ball getting there in the first place.
This is not a team that can play narrow against a team like this.
I think you guys are overdoing it. I think it's just the classic last 5 minutes of the half for the Whitecaps. That's all it is.
The classic 2021 Whitecaps.
Yeah.
But Portland's getting the opportunities to get the balls in the box. I mean, we're doing well in keeping it out, but at the same time, it's like they look a little bit all at sea. They've overhit a few of the crosses as well to the back of the box, which has also helped. You have to feel they're maybe going to tighten up a little bit in the second half. Ball play back there. So yeah, Friday night.
I got a message on YouTube.
What's the message? What's the message?
Oh, maybe it's not right.
Someone pretended there was a goal.
Yeah. Or they're really ahead.
They could be live there.
It's someone from Utah that is tweeting in.
I don't know this person.
The other game on Friday, as we mentioned, Houston beat San Jose 2-1. San Jose didn't get the memo, letting Rodriguez open the scoring. Wando's miss. I mean, we talked in our predictions. I fancy Houston to make the playoffs this season. Most of the MLS experts have them for last place. It's one game, can't go too much in that. But I mean, Stephen, what's your thoughts on Houston? What are you expecting from them this year?
The most in-depth level of analysis I have about that match, Michael, is that to me, starting the MLS campaign with San Jose Houston just proves irrefutably and beyond doubt that they pick the matchups out of a hat and just go with whatever comes out. They're totally beholden to it.
Well, actually, let's talking about that. There was a call with coaches on Wednesday, and Phil Neville was asked, first of all, one of the most stupid questions I've ever heard a coach asked, which was, are you going to be honouring Prince Philip for your game on Sunday? Because obviously of Beckham and him being English. Now, to be fair, he was wearing a black armband, but I don't know if that's solely because the question got asked, because he said, yeah, I think the plan is we're all going to wear armbands, but that's up to MLS. Well, I guess MLS said no because they weren't wearing the armbands today. But the woman that asked him that question, the day before, had asked Carlos Vela, what do you think of Arsenal's chances of winning the Europa League? It's like, where are these questions coming from? But anyway, one of the things that Phil Neville said was he felt Inter Miami, LA Galaxy was the biggest match in MLS that weekend because of the opening of the stadium, because of the Beckham connection, because the game was being shown live in England. So that was the biggest game in MLS the world was watching. For me, Philly Columbus today was the biggest game because you've got the MLS Cup winners taking on the Supporters Shield winners. You could argue Seattle, Minnesota's bigger because I have them as the top two in the West. Canadian Derby's bigger. I mean, do any of you guys think that today's game was a big game between those two teams?
I mean, it's big it's only big in the sense of those are two desirable communities that big name players want to go and play. And the stadium opening, I think, is a valid point. And was Phil's first game. But I mean, ultimately, he does sound like a bit of a numpty when he says that. And he was proved a bit of a numpty as a coach today. And I think some of the decisions he made,
yes,
including bringing on Federico Higuain, when he was up a goal, I thought was a really, really, really poor and naive decision that cost his team the game today. So, I mean, I don't really care much about what Phil Neville says, especially when he can be so easily outcoached by, the wily and veteran Greg Vanney.
Just to stop here, Diber Caicedo went off there with a knock. Ryan Raposa's is warming up, but he looks to be okay. But it is a free kick to Portland as we're in the dying seconds of the first half here. Ball's whipped into the back again, unmarked, and Crepeau takes it from under his goal line. But again, a ball to the back of the box. No one marking, no one picking up at all at the back of the box. They're going to get punished with this.
Yeah, it just feels too familiar. Year after year. It when that happens, it means that your defensive line isn't well, your responsibilities aren't clearly communicated. And who can blame him for having so many combinations over the last little while, I guess.
Was that Asprilla there with the attempt at the overhead kick?
I think so, yeah.
That was if he tried to just hit it normally, he had a better chance of scoring, I think.
Yeah, it's 2 bad misses from him.
Oh, that's a bad tackle off the pitch there. But I think that's the halftime whistle.
No, I think they're giving him a free kick. Throw-in. I thought we were giving a free kick.
So we'll just talk out the final seconds of the half, and then we'll get a quick roundup of what you think about what's happened in this first half. Are they going to get a corner? No, I think that is half time now. So half time, 0-0. Thank you for being with us. We're staying on during half time. We've got some fun things in store, so don't worry about that. We'll just go round everyone. So we'll start with Zach, then Steve, Stephen, and then Joe. So I won't introduce you, just give your thoughts when the other one has finished talking. But Zach, what's your first half thoughts?
I think Mark DeSantis will be happy to come away from this half with a clean sheet. I think Portland, will be disappointed that they're not up by a goal or two.
I agree with that. I think in this position, the thing is, it's very similar to that preseason game. I like what they're doing going forward, but you're a little concerned with what they're doing, holding on to this back end, and so you're hopefully that Portland's misses keep continuing, and their Whitecaps are able to capitalize on one of their few chances that they're able to make.
Yeah, I think that's a fine half for Vancouver, particularly given Timbers should tire out over the course of the second half. As far as it goes defensively, Whitecaps look decently organized, but it seems like sometimes backlines up pretty far. There's not a lot of pressure on the ball, and there are moments where it seems like they can't quite figure out where they want the line of confrontation to start. I think they have to sort that.
Yeah, I'm worried about what the Whitecaps' game plan is in terms of attacking. Like, it's clear that the fullbacks are supposed to overlap, but beyond that and set pieces, I'm not really sure what is supposed to click in place for a quality chance to get generated. Defending, I don't think there's anything new. I think there's patchy midfield coverage, especially on just outside the top of the box. So I guess it's a small sample size, but certainly not a perfect half for the Whitecaps.
I mean, I genuinely would take 0-0 from this. Things stand just now, I'd take 0-0 going into the game, to be totally honest as well. I've got concerns defensively. I just don't think the communication's there right now. I don't know, do they maybe want to bring on someone like Fashionary, maybe even go 5 at the back? My big concern is there's nothing really to change it up. Ryan Raposo looks like he could be the first guy that might come off, but like bringing Raposo on, he's not an upgrade on Caicedo, he's not an upgrade on Dahomey, so you're not really strengthening it. You only really want to kind of make that if someone's tiring or got a knock. So I don't see how the Whitecaps can switch much up from this at all. And I'm going to get the stats up now just for everyone to have a quick look at. So first half possession, Whitecaps 55.5% possession. Both teams 4 shots, 1 shot on goal. That 1 shot on goal for the Whitecaps was the long ranger, probably 25-yarder from Caicedo. Passing accuracy, pretty good from the Whitecaps, 88.9. Fouls, 8 given away, 5 by Portland. There's the 1 yellow card for Ranko. So, I mean, they've held their own. It's felt like Portland's been the better team, but, I mean, the stats aren't looking too bad there.
Frankly, that's a little bit flattering compared to what it looked like qualitatively.
Yeah, I just can't go by stats. It's like 68% of people believe everything that they see in stats. You can just pluck any figure out and there you go. But good first half. We'll be back talking about the second half soon, but let's have a bit of fun just now. And when I think fun and AFTN, the thing that comes to mind is chocolate digestives. So just get that up behind me just to get everyone in the mood for a chocolate digestive. I might go and grab some for the second half. But what we're going to do is, for the last few weeks, regular listeners on the podcast, the podcast that no one actually watches, just listens to, we've been opening up packets of football cards because that's what you do on radio and on podcasts. So Steve, very kindly, the gift that kept on giving, he gave us a whole box of 2011 Upper Deck cards. I'll put them in front of me. So we've been opening a pack on each show. So we've opened 6 packs so far. And what we decided to do, I've got all mine in a lovely little binder. We decided that we would pick our best starting 11 from the cards that we'd opened so far. So do you want to go first, Zach, or do I want to go first?
You know, age before beauty. So you can
Okay.
go first. Uh-oh.
Now, I'm going to say I've got a controversial selection, but we'll get to that. So
Sorry,
I've gone...
wait, are we opening first, or are we
No,
doing
we're doing our 6 that we've got.
our
our 11.
okay, I just opened this pack and I see a gray card.
Oh, well, that will have to wait.
Okay.
So I've gone for 4-3-3. What's your formation?
I think I'm sticking with what I talked to you about a while ago. I'm sticking with the 4-4-2, sort of the diamond. An unbalanced diamond, but a diamond nonetheless.
So my goalkeeper is, and we're going to go with the teams that they were with when we opened the pack. So my goalkeeper is DC United's Bel Hamid.
My starting keeper is Colorado's Matt Pickens.
Oh. My defence, right back, Zarek Valentin, getting a second mention on the show tonight. Chivas at that point. LA Galaxy's Omar Gonzalez. Canadian Nana Atakora. And from Seattle, trying to win over Stephen's favours here, Leo Gonzalez.
Oh. I have, I'll go left to right. Left back is Philadelphia Union's Jordan Harvey, Jay Demerit from Vancouver, Drew Moore from Colorado, and Jimmy Conrad from the Wiz. I mean, Sporting. Oh, no. Well, he's wearing a Wiz uniform, but it's a Chivas card. The Goats.
Okay. My midfield, defensive midfielder, Colorado's Jeff Laurentovich. Central midfielder, Roger Espinoza, the Honduran from Kansas City. And my attacking midfielder, TFC's Dwayne De Rosario.
Man. Okay. In our 4-4-2 diamond, again, it's a little bit misshapen, but the base of the diamond is going to be MLS Super Draft pick DC United's Perry Kitchen.
If anyone saw today, he looks like he's turning into one of the Sedin brothers.
Yeah. On the left side, and this is maybe the least fitting player, but whatever, is Sam Cronin. On the right side of that diamond, and again, he's not really great in a diamond, but is you saw him today also, the owner of Miami FC, Golden Balls, David Beckham. And at the top of my diamond in the attacking midfield role, a true number 10 in MLS, Real Salt Lake's Javier Morales.
Nice. Now, my front three. I've got from Houston, Brian Ching. From the San Jose Earthquakes, Chris Wondolowski. And listeners will know that one of the first packs I opened had the legend, the icon, Canadian Christine Sinclair. So I've not got her in my team because she's untested at this level, I feel. So I've gone for Seattle Sounders, Steve Zakuani.
So in my team, and so I currently have on my actual book, my team, I have my strikers are Jack McInerney, then of the Philadelphia Union. And
you can only have one. Is it Jack Mack or Ernie?
And Dead Bulls Juan Agudelo. But maybe for this, and then I have like my reserves and all this, and at the very back, I have my Flounders cards. So if we're trying to get Steven, maybe I should put the Colombian in at striker.
So that's ours. Doesn't like, don't curry favors with the boss here. We'll start with Joe. Who's got the best 11?
It's really close. But I'm gonna have to go with Zach, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's because I didn't pick Christine Sinclair.
That might have played a part in the decision. No, I liked the defense. The midfield does look weird. You played David Beckham on the right, I think it was. But yeah, and Jack Mack, who can beat that up front.
Oh, one vote to Zach. Steve?
I think the striking is going to be the most important part in this kind of team, and I think I like Wondolowski, and I am concerned with that midfield of Zach's having the diamond with somebody who doesn't really play a diamond, and I'm concerned that Beckham will kick somebody and get a red card because he's not used to playing in that area.
Not the World Cup, man. He only kicks people at the World Cup.
I'd be more concerned with 2 Whitecaps defenders from 2011.
Yeah, and I feel like if Zach, Michael picks up, opens a pack with,
night, man.
Okay,
Let Steve talk.
If he opens a pack with it comes Jonathan Leathers and he's able to update this thing, I think then Javier Morales will have a tough time there.
So it's a casting vote for Stephen. Stephen from Seattle, picking from a team with 2 Sounders players in it from 2011 to Zach's team.
I have the Colombian for Stephen's purposes. I have the Colombian up front.
So I'm kind of excited about this because I feel like I have a surprisingly strong opinion, or like I'm surprised by how strong my opinion is. Zach, your team is way better built than Michael's in this case. I've got to 100% give this to you. And in particular, I'm really impressed with Javier Morales as the center attacking mid in a 4-diamond 2, exactly as Salt Lake actually deployed him. That's just like, I mean, come on. What is that if not serendipity? This is why life is great.
I'm turning his video off now. I was wanting to remove him from the chat, but then I didn't know if he could get back in again.
Michael, does this mean you owe me chocolate digestives? What was on the line here?
Wait a minute, I'm trying to start Stephen's video again. You might need to start your video again, Stephen. Sorry.
This is just halftime, really. Like just the opening.
Yeah,
I think continue this.
Just imagine that you've been pulled off at halftime.
We got to open all the packs before we get the final lineup.
People have to watch the YouTube video to see Michael's face as Stephen was giving his answer. It was art.
Oh, I forgot Kirk was there. Ignore that last comment I made about what's happening. You can explain to him later. Let's open a new pack then for the show.
Oh, this is a good one.
I'm gonna remove my background for a second so that you can actually see what I've got here. There's my house.
You want to go first for this?
Have you got yours open? Because mine's
open.
Right, you go first then. I'm still opening mine.
We have a very good pack. This pack actually could strengthen our team. Starting in goal, number, what was he, 18 or 16? Vancouver's Jay Nolly.
Oh.
Are you putting them in?
I haven't decided yet. Do I have to tell you right now?
No.
I can tell you now I'm not putting any of my cards in, unless if I put this first card in and Stephen changes his mind, because it's a forward from Seattle, Roger Levesque.
I already have him. He's in my Seattle part of my book. Next, I have a person who could improve my back line, potentially ahead of Jay DeMerit, maybe, or Drew Moore, maybe. And he would have the chemistry to go with Javier Morales. It's Nat Borchers from Real Salt Lake.
Beard. Well, I've got a defender from Houston, Mike Chabala.
I have him too. I have him. Michael, remember how we were saying there was no Whitecaps? And then last pack I got like a bunch of Whitecaps?
I still haven't had any.
This pack, I have Jay Nolly. And my next card is MLS Super Draft from the Vancouver Whitecaps, the sure shot, Michael Nanchoff.
Oh, I have his autographed card. It wasn't in the pack. I just got it autographed because I bought the Whitecaps ones on eBay. Defender from Columbus Crew, Andy Ero.
Oh.
Holding on for an Ero.
My next one is a first-year player to MLS. Under his back of his card, it says no MLS experience. Unfortunately, he finished his footballing career with no MLS experience, which is very, very unfortunate. Because in my opinion, Big Phil must play. Philippe Davies.
Oh, wow. I'm going to show you my next two because they're both from Chivas. Alejandro Moreno, a forward, and another forward, Justin Braun.
Oh.
Didn't he go to RSL?
Braun went a lot of places, including Sacramento. Next, I have midfield forward from the Galaxy of LA, Johan Karofsky.
My last one, LA Galaxy, defender, Frankie Hejduk.
Oh, that's a good right back for you.
My CDM?
And my last card is...
Oh, for Zach's the DDM. Ah, okay. I was like, I don't have a midfielder here. I'm just reading the chat from Steve.
Borowski ahead of Kitchen. Okay. My last card is New England Revolution. Kelly Dubé, forward Kelly Dubé.
Oh, always smoking. Great selection there. So this is the fun that you're missing out on the podcasts. We get to open this and you don't get to see the cards, but there we go. But
Michael,
the second half has got underway.
Oh, it has, yeah. Michael, do you think your pack has improved your squad?
No, I'm not putting any of those in my squad.
Yeah, I think the only player out of there was Nat Borchers.
Nat Borchers is...
Yeah, future
Should I put him
Timber.
head of Drew Moore?
Oh, maybe.
Or Jada Mayer?
But come on, Kirovsky was from that golden era of MLS when you could start a guy purely just to hurt people. It was neat. It was different.
That's my era. That's how I coach my under 16, but still, or how I used to before they took my coaching license away. So the second half is underway. I've just put a light on here, or got my wife to do that. I might turn this off a little bit. That's better. Do we expect Portland just to basically launch wave after wave of attack in the Whitecaps here?
Oh, with the Whitecaps?
Do we think Portland's just going to launch wave after wave of attack in the Whitecaps?
If they feel fit, like you said, like I think Steven said before, they played last on Tuesday.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
Same 11.
I think they want to take it smartly and kind of find those open spots because they can find those open spots. I don't think they need to do wave after wave in order to get a goal here.
I'm excited to see how Cavallini can influence the second half. At least the parts of the game I'm behind everyone. So what I've seen so far, he seems energetic. Like they're closing down the Portland center backs very actively. Don't know if that's a great idea because you just open up the midfield, which you only have 2 players sitting in there anyway. But yeah, so much of this rides on Cavallini and how much he can hold up to open up the next phase of play.
It doesn't look like there's been any subs at halftime, so not a surprise from the Whitecaps' point of view. Wouldn't be surprised if its goal is getting to the hour mark that Savarese makes a couple of subs here for Portland just to really kind of freshen things up a little bit. And that's the big concern then for the Whitecaps is they're going to have fresh guys running at them. But if the Whitecaps can sneak a go-ahead goal, but you think if it's going to come from anything, it might be coming from a set piece, then yeah, we'll see what happens. That definite foul there on Cavallini. Bravo.
Yeah, I haven't been particularly impressed with the way that the Portland center back pairing has dealt with balls into the box. I definitely think that there's potential there.
Well, chance here for the Whitecaps. First free kick for them for the half. 48th minute. Baldissimo and Gutierrez standing over it. Fancy Baldissimo to swing this one in, I've got to say. Oh, faked it out. Gutierrez swings it into the back post, and again it's just cleared. That was a handball, surely. Oh, he's played the advantage. Oh! If you're behind, you'll see what that excitement was for.
Oh, that was close. That's how far I'm behind.
I'm
Was that
trying to
Andy
get too
Rose?
excited. Yeah, I was Andy Rose.
The last guy you want to be in that position.
That's a corner. That came off the Timbers last.
No,
Oh.
I think the Whitecaps.
Oh, no, but then it's knocked out by Cava. Ah.
So again, imagine a different
No,
player.
that was the.
Oh, it's a corner.
Timbers gloves. Yeah, that was off
Yeah.
the gloves.
Let's see, was it gloves?
Yep.
Yeah. See, imagine a quicker player in that spot, Michael. A quicker center back up and then.
Oh!
Okay, can't wait to see this. There you
Sorry
go.
for spoiling that for everyone. It was just a natural reaction. Lucas fucking Cavallini. He's the new Freddie Montero for this year.
How was he so unmarked?
I said it was going to come from a set piece.
He was starved for service in the first half. Wow.
Well, that's the early goal I was wanting the Whitecaps to get. Ooh, now, was Nerwinski holding down Mbala?
I don't think they're going to
They're
call
not
that.
going to review that.
Yeah.
Everyone has a sound off, right? Oh.
Hopefully Kirk's left now.
Oh, He kicked the mic too. He got the mic kick.
Ah, good.
Great power behind the header. Wow.
We've got a chat with Lucas Cavallini coming up in episode 445 of the AFTN Soccer Show.
Will MLS fine him for kicking the mic?
Oh, probably. They fine folk for everything. Although, the new rule this week, you are allowed to join in with the celebrations, as you saw there. So subs can now show the emotion and go and celebrate. And
Which is ironic because this is the pitch where Vancouver got in trouble for that, right?
Oh, with Paulo Tanagi.
Suspended Paulo because they didn't want to. It was like the way of taking it easy on them. Oh, my halftime snacks have arrived. All right, sweet.
Oh, my halftime snacks haven't arrived. Caitlin, snacks.
That was pretty gutsy. That was agonizing watching that ball slowly roll, kick off the post and out. I mean, it's the only decent look of the game, and to have that happen, it looks like it's beaten the goalkeeper, looks like you've scored, and then to just come straight back, just hammering the corner, right? That really is. It's a gutsy play.
No, I think it was Baldissimo that sent the corner, if I'm not mistaken.
Beautiful ball win from Baldissimo.
He's been really supplying the ball. Like his ability to supply that from whether it's corner, set pieces, on the pitch, it's really valuable. So hopefully he's able to get time on.
Let's talk about that then just now, because obviously Baldy's just getting his chance because of the Owusu injury. And it's like you're wanting, we've talked about this so much, you want these young guys that are coming into the team to grab their opportunity. Baldy did it last year and he's done it again. So it's like, for me, like Owusu's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, I think, by the sounds of it. So he's not coming back anytime soon. But even if he was fit to go, like Baldissimo's earned to start for the next game as well.
Yeah, like how do you not start Baldissimo? There's no player in the team with his qualities, right, of being able to pass. And not to diminish the qualities of the other midfielders, but like a player like that can just drive a team and control the midfield. Like he reminds me a bit of Paul Scholes, actually, the way that he, knocks the ball long and then the short passes to open up space. That's the comparison I would make.
That's a good comparison.
You compare all players to like former United players?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
We'll have a little bit. I talk about United very shortly, but I mean the key for the Whitecaps now, I feel, is what they're doing. It's like, don't sit back and try and defend this for like 40 minutes. It's like they need to still be on the front foot, and they're doing just that. And if they can sneak a second now as well, then it's like dreamland for them. That's a heavy collision there. Go back to the midfield. Bikel, I haven't noticed him, apart from that tackle that he didn't get booked for. I haven't really noticed him much at all, which might just be the role that he's been asked to play. It's like the unsexy role that doesn't do much, but he hasn't stood out, good or bad.
Yeah, to draw another United comparison, he's the Darren Fletcher of the midfield.
Good Scottish boy.
I think Bikel's there to kind of be that steady person for that back line to assist when the assistance is needed there. You can't expect Baldissimo to be that guy, so I think he's going to just really in that just holding position and not really wanting to go up and let Baldissimo take those kind of spots.
Now, I'm going to give another quick time update to see where all you guys are, because I can pause my stream for a few seconds here. So I'm about to hit 53:30.
I'm still 16 seconds behind.
Steve?
Oh, I'm right around you where you are. I'm only a couple seconds behind.
All right. Joe?
I'm so far behind that I don't have the time up. Right.
I'm on the Timbers Root Sports broadcast here, and so I have you beat by a second or two, Michael.
Ah. Okay. Interesting. I probably won't pause it then just now. If there's another goal and I react too quickly and spoil it for everybody, I'll try not to do that.
Sorry, this is tangential and probably not interesting at all, but Root's based in Seattle, and so Timbers are broadcast by Root, and so there'll be times they're tweeting their games at home on or they'll be tweeting an away game, or their journalists will be tweeting an away game, and I get it on my feed on Root like a minute before they do in Portland, because it's weird. It's funny. I'm in Seattle and I get the game first, and I imagine that just has to really piss some people off. So
I actually thought Root was an Oregon-based or Portland-based TV station because I've obviously seen Root Sports all over whenever I've been down there, so that's interesting. Just whilst it's dipped quickly, I just want to quickly do some more MLS West just to chat about what happened there. Dallas 0, Colorado 0, not really much to talk about in that. LAFC 2, Austin 0, Austin with their first game. A couple of things to talk about in that. Both goals for LAFC came in the second half. Corey Baird 1-0 in the 61st minute, but then it waited to the 90th minute before Cifuentes made it 2-0. Scooter got a run out for Austin with 3 minutes to go. I thought Austin showed some potential, some good stuff in the making. Big talking point, though, was the balls up by Bob Bradley to pull Carlos Vela off in the 22nd minute after a miscommunication where he thought he was going to go off, and Vela looked really pissed at that. It was hilarious. But full credit to Bob Bradley because he put his hands up and said, I made a mistake, my fault, totally got that wrong, that's on me. If they'd lost that or dropped any points at all, that would have been an interesting locker room, I think, afterwards.
I think it still could be interesting if Vela's still upset about it. Like, nobody wants to be taken off the pitch.
He indicated he did the famous like that, but apparently it was just to get the trainers on to look at him. But usually that means you're coming off.
Coming off, yeah, exactly.
So I could see where the like misunderstanding was. What did you make of Houston, or what did you make of Austin? Do you think they're going to be challengers, or are they just going to be also-rans?
I think we talked about it on the podcast. I think they're going to be in the mix to make the playoffs, but I'm not sure if they're contenders or anything like that.
I'll give the obligatory. I think they're going to be all right. But it was not an easy game for them to start the season with. Like sometimes these expansion teams, like you want something where it's going to be exciting, so you play against a bigger team, but I think they would have been just as happy to play against one of the crappier teams. And get
was it in LA or in Austin?
It was in LA. So
that's even weirder that they opened their season in LA.
Well, Austin's not got their stadium yet. Austin don't play their first home game until June.
Yeah, but they could have played at one of the crappy away teams. Like,
oh yeah, that's true. But I mean, Austin had 9 journalists make the trip through for it, which it's like there's a lot of teams around MLS. Like, I've been on Whitecaps calls in the last couple of weeks where there's been like 2 or 3 of us on it.
Are you talking about at the stadium? They had 9 people?
Yeah, they had 9 journalists made the trip from Austin to that.
Well,
but
you're traveling to LA. How many Vancouver journalists are willing to travel to LA? I'm assuming.
Well, they're not even willing to go on the calls here. Never mind that anything else. But
no, but they go to LA for the LA trip, not for the actual covering with you.
The big advantage though that Austin's got, because it was their first ever game, so they're gonna get a lot of press coverage, Stephen, and I think what they've got going in their favour is there's no other big professional sports teams in the city. Plus, you've got your Canadian derbies as well, Texan derbies as well. You're going to be building up all that kind of interstate rivalry and stuff. I think they've got the potential to be really, really solid fan base and media support and everything down there.
I definitely agree with you there. I don't expect to see the product on the field be all that great this season, but as you said, I think with all the factors they've got going on around it, it shouldn't matter too much. I'm excited to see what the stadium looks like all filled up. I kind of wonder what it will be like to actually have Anthony Precourt in the league as a protagonist with his own franchise now. I wonder if the animosity and distaste for him will continue, or if that's kind of dissipated now that Columbus will stay settled in Columbus.
I will disagree with you on the fact that Austin's the biggest team in Austin. I mean, the Austin soccer team is the biggest team because the University of Texas, I believe, is based very close to Austin.
The Longhorns.
Yeah, the Longhorns, and they will be the biggest team in that area for sure.
Well, funnily enough, that's how Matthew McConaughey's got into all this, because he's a big Longhorns fan, and then he just, they had a conference call with him. I was on loads of the MLS calls this week. The only folk I didn't get to ask questions to was Don Garber, Phil Neville and Matthew McConaughey. Every other call I got picked to ask a question. But I would have loved to have asked Matthew McConaughey a question. But I never got the chance to do that. Oh, Portland just threatening here. I'll just break off for a second. This is the key bit for the Caps. They need to try and get to the 70th minute without letting a goal in, I feel. Because I think if they give one in now, they're going to go on to lose it. Because I think they are going to tire later on in the game. But another big save from Max Crepeau there.
Does anybody ask the question I suggested to Matthew McConaughey?
What one you suggested? A couple.
I think it was the one about did he have a favorite soccer movie or something like that?
No, I was going to ask that, but no, they talked a lot about like why he's involved and the fact that he doesn't want to be a distant owner, because he said, if I'm going to do this, I want to be involved. I want to be really hands on, and I really liked hearing that. And again, I'll break off here as the Whitecaps go on the attack. Lovely little move here by the Caps. They've got a corner out of it, but that was quite sloppy by Tybert there as the ball came to him there. But yeah, McConaughey, I'm going to bring some of the audio from it in the next podcast. But the passion that he showed for the team and how he wants to be involved and he wants to get out there and sell the team. And when he's going around the world making movies, he wants to like put the team in the spotlight. Every club would just love to have an owner like that, I think.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll do his support on Twitter and everything like that. So yeah, he's got a lot of social media presence and everything like that, and I think it's important for that team.
Yeah, he's Austin's Drew Carey.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good example because, like Stephen, when Drew Carey, I know you've got like NFL guys involved as well down there, but when Drew Carey got involved, did you feel that kind of gave the Sounders a bit more attention in the mainstream?
I think that the folks that were brought into the ownership fold to go along with Adrian Hanauer went a long ways towards convincing the city that it was a serious venture. It brought a lot of money and kind of big name recognition, certainly with Drew Carey to the table. Drew himself made some demands to be a part of the club. He demanded that there would be a band and that the Alliance Council would get set up and a few other things. And some of that turned out kind of gimmicky. Some of it turned out okay. Some of it's a cool part of the club. There are various takes on that. I'm kind of impressed with these more recent guys, Will Ferrell and Matthew McConaughey coming into the league and just kind of just lending these clubs some of their name and their recognition without really asking for anything in return. It doesn't seem like, they're not trying to dominate the scene. They're not trying to take up too much of the spotlight. It's just, I don't know. I'm kind of impressed by it.
Yeah, McConaughey's official title is Minister of Culture for Austin FC. I tell you, Portland are pushing hard here. Oh, that was a wasted ball there by Chara. He should have taken a shot there. I don't know who he was trying to play it back to, but Portland's turning the screw a little bit. They're keeping the Whitecaps penned pretty deep into their half.
Yeah, and I think the Whitecaps are panicking a little bit, and because they had a chance to even counterattack there if Bikel could have got that out to Diber on the wing.
It's funny. Vancouver having a celebrity owner has not helped them one bit.
No, it's not.
Even though he's only a 2% owner.
But the thing is, he's the epitome of the absentee owner kind of thing, celebrity.
Which Vancouver is well versed in.
Yeah. Well, he turns up, he bangs a drum a little bit at a couple of games, comes to training. That's basically all he does.
He is the coach of a professional team right now.
Well,
right?
yeah, but before that,
yeah,
he was always tweeting more about Mallorca than he was about the Whitecaps.
Oh, we got his famous tweet for that one time.
Oh, yes.
Hang tough?
Yeah.
Hang tough. Hopefully the Whitecaps can hang tough here for the last 26 minutes. Oh, there's my kind of baldy tackle.
So you know what Drew did do? He wore a Sounder pin when he hosted The Price is Right. And I know that sounds pretty podunk, but in 2009, MLS didn't show up anywhere. And that was on basic cable television every single day. You could turn it on and see a Sounder crest. That that did do something. Or it was cool. I don't know. When I was 12, that was cool.
No, it is. It's like we need to get some star power involved with the Whitecaps, and maybe we'll get them involved with with AFTN. We'll get a celebrity.
Well, you had local Vancouver boy buy a team in Wales.
Yeah,
right?
Ryan Reynolds. There's a few folk I'd love to speak to on the show. Matthew McConaughey's one. Will Ferrell would be my dream MLS related person to get on the show to chat to. That would just, even 5 minutes with him would just be fantastic. But I'd love to speak to Ryan Reynolds about buying at Wrexham and just getting why he hasn't picked here. I mean, Seth Rogen, I don't know if he's got any interest in soccer. Like a guy like that would just raise the profile of the club so much. I don't even think we've got many sort of famous fans in Vancouver. I know the guy that was in Once Upon a Time, I forget his name now. He played Hook in Once Upon a Time. He was always at the games and kind of tweeting stuff out, the Irish guy. But like, obviously he moved away when the filming stopped.
Yeah.
East Fife have a #1 musician. That's one of their fans. He's the son of a friend of mine, PG Charletta. Played his song on episode 442, I want to say. They're all kind of blurring into one. He's going to be on our live watch-along, doing that to get all his fans tuning in to watch our live watch-along on Tuesday.
Gordy says Deadpool wearing a Whitecaps kit in a movie would be pretty funny.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, you could get blood splattered all over us because that's how those movies go.
From someone wearing a TFC kit.
Yeah.
I think he was actually, when Deadpool 2 came out, he was actually in a couple of Man United ads. He was
Yes,
yeah. So he's definitely done something there.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about Man United, but before we do that, other two results. SKC came back to beat Dead Bull 2-1. They brought Pulido and Johnny Russell off the bench with 13 minutes to go, and they still got past New York 2-1, so that was good.
I just need to say I greatly appreciate you calling them Dead Bull, Michael. Thank you.
I did that for you. But the other game featuring a Western team was the Galaxy beating Miami today 3-2. Little Sweet Pea himself got a pair of goals. That'll please both you Man United fans. And I don't know if anyone's listened to the audio I played in our MLS season preview, but I'll break off here as Timber's on another break. And this just feels like what I was expecting, like wave after wave of Timber attack. And right now, the Whitecaps defence are coping with it all, but they're not clearing the ball that far. It seems to be Portland still picking it up, kind of like just into the Whitecaps half, so they're launching more waves, but little break.
Yeah, but that was the wave after wave started after they got the first goal. So that's when Portland started putting pressure on. And they were bringing on a couple of subs too, I believe, at this point.
Yeah,
as they should.
I think the Whitecaps should bring off Dahome and put on Raposo.
Yeah, just give them some width and some pace and
move Tiber to the middle.
Would you bring off Dahome more than Caicedo?
Caicedo did get knocked around pretty badly, so maybe Caicedo, but I think you need Raposo's energy right now, and if he can turn away from a tackle in the midfield and open up Cavallini, that's how you kill the game off.
Would you move Tiber to the middle and go to a 3-man midfield then at that point?
Maybe into the defensive midfield slot, so you leave Baldissimo and Bikel there, then Raposo onto the left wing with Cavallini.
I'd be happy with 4-5-1. Actually,
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Move Tiber, only have one up top, and then move Tiber into the middle.
Maybe even bring Metcalf on. Like Metcalf had a really solid showing in the Olympic qualifiers. So, I mean, bring him on to bolster that midfield, either for Tiber or, like, take Dahome or Caicedo off and then, like, put Metcalf in there. Raposo makes a lot of sense, as well as Joe said. If Theo Bair was in better form, he'd be the kind of guy that you'd maybe want to get the ball, just take it for a run, but he's just been just off form. And here's the Timbers on the attack. Oh, what a tackle. Was that Ranko that got that tackle in there, or was that
No, it's Rose.
Gutierrez?
Rose.
Oh, Andy Rose, well done. That was a goal-saving tackle, I think, because he was just waltzing through that Whitecaps defence there.
And it was a potential penalty giving tackle too at one too.
Yeah, I was wanting to see the replay before I said too much on that. I was a little bit worried because he did fly in, but he got all balls. That was good. Oh,
Now he's
caught out there though, Nerwinski.
No, that's Ranko.
Was that Ranko?
That was Ranko number 4.
I'm so far away from my TV, I feel that I'm watching the TFC Montreal game from Saturday. Let's just finish quickly about LA Galaxy. So 3-2 win over Miami. Chicharito, he spoke very passionately during the week about his struggles, kind of like mental health, the pressure, everything from last year, because he knew he was playing shit and everyone was telling him he was playing shit. And he just spoke like, I'm not a robot, he said. I can't just keep performing at this level. He seemed like a different man today. That just seemed like a burden that had been lifted off him by getting that out there, by getting that into the media and saying to people, I've been struggling. He told the LA Times he'd hit rock bottom. And I think he just needed to get that out there. And we saw a revitalised Chicharito today. And we said in our preview, if he can turn it on for the Galaxy, then the Galaxy could be a playoff team. If he isn't, I don't think they have what it takes. But they showed a lot of fight today, and I think Vanny's a guy that knows how to win in this league, so it's going to be interesting to see how they do. What's your thoughts on that, Joe?
Yeah, it's always refreshing to hear a player speak so obviously, or so not obviously, so honestly. And today he did look like a different player. Last season, it was hard to watch at points, but or it was fun to watch from a Whitecaps perspective. But
yeah, but he looked a shadow of the guy that we'd seen before.
Today he was sharp, and it just reminded me of the player that played for Real Madrid, Man United, and Bayern Leverkusen, like that player.
Not the West Ham Chicharito, because he wasn't very good.
No, he wasn't.
What about yourself, Stephen? What did you make of that, and just of the Galaxy in general under Vanny? What are you expecting from them this year?
I expect the Galaxy to get a lot better under Vanny. I really do think he's a great coach for this league, and I think that he'll build something really, really solid at a huge club there. That being said, it was a beautiful day in Seattle today, and I sat out on my back deck during the entire match, just did not even worry about that one. And so I'm sorry, I wish I could give you some more analysis on that, but I have not even seen the highlights yet.
I took the dog out for half an hour this morning, and I've not been out the house since. Yesterday was the same. I try and stay out the sun, though, just in general. But yeah, I've just had a feast of football. I've got to say, I've loved MLS being back. I've really enjoyed it. I didn't watch the East Fife game this weekend because Prince Philip's funeral meant that East Fife had to move their kickoff time to noon, which was 4 a.m. our time. So I missed that. Wasn't even on my own podcast, which was a nice experience. I got to listen to an East Fife podcast that had nothing to do with me, so I was actually listening to an East Fife podcast. So I enjoyed that.
How long was it?
An hour. It's usually 3 hours if I'm on it, but yeah. It was way shorter. Just like when I started off doing the 1 hour daily shows this week, and then by the third one, we're at an hour and 36 minutes. That didn't
from the YouTube chat, Michael, it would be great. Some people are hoping that if you do get to talk to McConaughey, that you'll ask him about his favorite jam and the chocolate digestive.
Oh, question. Obviously.
That's
it's
obvious.
Like I was tempted that if they picked me to ask a question that I asked that, but I thought I'll never get to ask anything ever again on one of these calls.
If he's gonna ask Lionel Messi about his favorite digestive or whatever it was he asked him, I think he's gonna ask Matthew McConaughey.
Is this from last year? Portland's uniform has the TikTok sponsorship on both sleeves.
No, that's new. That's just from this year.
The Whitecaps still have the MLS badge, don't they?
Yeah, it's a special deal they've got with TikTok. Like clubs could get sleeve sponsors if they wanted. It's like we could get AFTN on it. We could inquire. Can't cost that much. It's the Whitecaps. They're playing in Utah. But I mean,
they didn't get anyone.
Yeah. But TikTok, the clock is ticking down. The Whitecaps are 16 minutes and stoppage time away from 3 points. We'll be joint top. I'll take it as joint top.
It does feel like I thought they wouldn't affect them that much, but and I know TFC had a different approach, and some of the other teams did as well. But it does seem like the exertions midweek might have taken more out of this Portland team than they thought.
Well, every single team that was in CONCACAF Champions League action, it's like all the talk was, it's going to get them. And I asked some of the coaches this: do you feel it's got you in great competitive shape for the season? Because you're not just playing meaningless friendlies, you're actually playing games that matter. Every coach, every player that was asked that said to a man, "Yep, we feel much sharper." If this stays the same way, or even if Portland get a draw out of this, none of those 5 teams will have won this weekend.
Yeah.
I guess the flag went up there.
I think the first legs did help them. I don't think the second legs, the week of the league play starting, helped them.
It's handball.
Really helped them.
That was a good chance there for Portland. Mora got goal side of Gutierrez there, but brought it down with his arm. So again, a bit of a lucky escape.
Hey, Joe, aren't you allowed to use your hand in the box to score?
We don't talk about that game.
That's Michael's buddy.
Mr. Henry.
I don't know if you can hear me or not, but my camera has frozen.
We can hear you.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I'll try and fix the camera aspect.
You never look better.
Your camera froze on a perfect look for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might just stay like this. See, this is this new camera I bought.
You look crystal clear, though.
Yeah, I can't even switch the camera off now because it's saying not responding. But we'll just keep it like this. This will be my new look. I look constipated, possibly, but anyway.
No. You look brilliant. I've never seen you look better.
Oh, keeper sub. On YouTube. Well, it looks Antonella's getting ready to come on. On YouTube, Austin Sweeney saying 1 is not enough. 1 is not enough. Hey.
Oh, now if anyone in the chat.
Oh, it looks like his mic froze too.
Do we lose him?
I think we might have lost him.
He's the host.
No.
Oh.
I might still be around. I don't know what's happening. My computer has frozen on me. It's probably doing an update.
Steven,
doesn't that usually happen at the beginning of the games?
Steven Gordy in the chat says he's watching this game on his patio with a beer.
Has anybody noticed that Diego Valeri has really done nothing in this game?
Very little, yeah.
Don't jinx it, Steve. Or Steve.
The Whitecaps are no marathon.
Yeah. I feel like on the preview pod, but would a player who doesn't like to run join a team called Marathon?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try and unplug something to see if I can get this working again.
Just unplug the camera.
Yeah, so the clash with Dahome seems to have done in Steve Clark.
Oh, Antonella's coming in.
Yeah.
Is that an upgrade?
I don't fancy either of them, but Steve Clark's like crapping in the corner celebration in Columbus has always made me not like him.
It looks like he's cramping right now.
There was a clearance he made that he looked like he tweaked his not hamstring, maybe.
He's holding his left
quad.
Quad, yeah.
I think it stems from the collision with Dahome.
It looked like when Cavallini was closing him down earlier. That seemed to be, yeah.
Tyler Black mentions that in the chat here. Cavallini interaction or the crash into Dahome.
Oh yeah, because Caicedo really walloped into him. But we've got 12 minutes to go. Can the Whitecaps hold on? Portland, another corner. I'll check the stats in a
I do
sec
think
here.
Antonella is better to have in the box as an extra attacker for a corner at the end of the game for Portland.
Again, lots of folk in the 6-yard box. I so many folk in the 6-yard box for both teams at corners, and that was a shit corner by Valeri. That was a complete waste.
That's usually my call in FIFA 21. I usually crowd the keeper.
Yeah, which is how the Whitecaps sort of scored. It looked, or not the Whitecaps scored. Portland earlier, they've been crowding the keeper all game.
Yeah.
Still no Whitecap subs with only 10 minutes or so to go.
I honestly don't see very many coming on. I think they're going to go for the full 90.
Three appears to have been an overshot by me.
When I was getting ready for this game, I was in the shower. I do a lot of my thinking in the shower. And that's where all the best ideas for the show come in the shower. Shower or driving in the car, and I hear an obscure song that I think I can turn into a section.
For me, it's the toilet.
I was thinking, if the Whitecaps can win this, is this the best win that MDS will have had as a Whitecaps boss? Or is that win over Chicago last year maybe the best one? Oh, here's Portland on the attack. Yeah, I'll just break off.
This
What
is not
a
good.
block there.
Nice block.
This has been some resolute defending from the Whitecaps. Gutierrez.
See, I hear it from you guys, and then I get to see it lived out. It's interesting.
But yeah, like if the Whitecaps don't attempt fate, but if the Whitecaps can hold on here,
Gutierrez is hurt a little.
that was almost handball by him as well.
But
Ball's back in play, it's fine.
it was almost a 3-ball shot too.
But do you think that this would be, you could class this as MDS's best win?
Oh, Divert. Oh,
Not a lot of his wins have been memorable. I'll give you that.
There was an LAFC win.
Oh, that was the very first one he got, yeah.
Yeah, but that was like, didn't like LAFC also like not play their full team and stuff, and it was a midweek game, and
Yeah, this is a full strength Portland team pretty much.
nobody's going to look at the lineup. They just look at the score line.
no, but I mean, if we're talking about, is it his best win? That's what we're looking at. And
I personally think this would be his best win because of the fact this is a new era kind of thing where they finally they're not, this is not even a full strength Whitecaps team going up against the full strength.
That's
Everton.
exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah,
like for me, the fact that it's there's so many guys out. There's the fact that they're playing in Utah and it's a home game. And
the new era thing doesn't really play for me because like it seems like every year is a new era for them. So
oh, whoa!
Oh, Andy Rose? Oh no, the homie.
I wonder what happened.
Portland's equalised.
Yeah.
This new camera of mine seems broken already because there we go. I couldn't get the light to go on.
it was Andy Rose who got
I'm
to
in a
it
glow
first.
now. Oh, 2 more goals and we're joint top with Seattle. Come on.
Sorry, who curled the ball in?
Baldissimo?
Oh, I'm guessing it's Baldissimo.
Is that going to be handball and Andy Rose?
That could be.
Yeah, Andy Rose. It looks like an awkward thing here. I haven't seen that.
I think if they review it, I think it is handball because that's if it touched any part of the hand.
I think it's shoulder. I'm going to say shoulder.
No, that's a handball.
I think it's a handball. He controlled it with his hand. I think. Let's see if he puts his finger to his ear.
Just let him take kickoff. Just go. Oh,
They shouldn't even celebrated this goal. They should have just gone right to the kickoff.
Yeah, that's a handball. I'm sorry.
I'm just waiting for the finger to the ear. Finger to the ear. Finger. Oh, I thought
I'm
he did
saying it's not going to get given as a handball.
But he hasn't even done the finger to the ear once.
Oh, no. He heads it onto the guy's shoulder. You can't 100% say that it's onto his arm. And then it hits off the shoulder onto Rose's hand.
But even then, by that definition, it would be a handball.
Because they're going with a new rule.
Oh, if Andy heads it onto his own hand, it's not supposed to be a handball.
Is that Rose's goal? Does that take a little touch on him after the
I think Rose got the last touch.
I think they are reviewing it.
This happened to what's his name, Emery Chan, this week in either the Champions League or the Bundesliga.
I'm actually going to turn the sound up a little bit here.
But they said it didn't hit his head first. They said it hit his arm first.
You see that?
If you head it, and it hits your arm, I think you're supposed to.
He's reviewing it. He's reviewing it. I think it hits his head. It goes off the Timbers defenders. Oh, my camera's gone off again. Jeez, oh.
I've changed my score line back to 1-0 for now. I think if they go by the
in MLS, I think they're calling it back.
He's already called it.
No goal?
No goal.
See, I think Andy headed it. It went off the Timbers guy's shoulder and then back onto his hand.
Doesn't make a difference. Touching of the hand means that it's a handball, and that's a goal. No goal. They're very strict on the goals in the box by the offensive attacking players, I should say.
Think of all the time that was wasted for the VAR review, though.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get 6 minutes of stoppage.
MLS is slow and clunky at it.
Actually, you know what? When he went to the monitor, he ruled on it very quickly.
Just, we've obviously not got much more time left of the game, and then we'll finish the chat pretty soon after the game, so I can get on the post-game calls and stuff. But I want to talk about one more game because it's the next opponents for the Whitecaps, which is TFC. 4-2 defeat to Montreal. Montreal 2-0 up after 24 minutes.
But Larry coming off, by the way.
Oh, that's good for us. He's usually a bit of a cap killer.
He's not happy about it.
Just why did they bring on Loma for him? What is that? Why do you bring on a center back for a playmaker down a goal on 85 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
I don't know. Is that they made their 3 periods of subs?
I don't think so.
Maybe they're thinking set pieces are the only way they're going to score. I don't know.
They haven't had many in the second half, have they? Not as much as in the first half.
No, they have more in the first half.
I'll get the stats up just now, see what we can have a look at.
Oh, actually, that is their 3.
Yeah, they made 2 subs at the 66-minute mark or so.
And then the keeper sub and then Valeri.
Yeah, that's it for subs.
We've not made any, have we?
Nope. I don't think we will either.
Yeah,
Unless
2
there's an injury.
corners still just for Portland, according to this, if this is updated properly, which it looks like it has.
Oh, run right through everybody.
Yeah, Tyler Black says in the comments on YouTube, he likes it in other leagues like the Premier League where they give a status of the check is underway. MLS could really help themselves by doing stuff like that.
Yeah, we have to rely on the finger on the ear in order to figure out if they're being reviewed. Oh, he's going to call the foul.
It's squeaky bum time now. Or at least Valeri's off.
Set piece right at the front of the box. Oh, there was nothing even there.
Harsh.
That was nothing even. He fell.
Oh, man. If they score from this, MDS is going to lose it.
Yeah, that was nothing.
I'm going to put that.
Are the players wearing something back on their back of their necks?
Yeah, it's the metric monitor.
It's the measuring.
Because they all look like hunchbacks, man.
Yeah, they all have that.
The ref has it too.
The ref gave that because he put his hand on his back. I know it's a soft call, but
yeah.
No, but it doesn't even look like it was that hard. It's almost like a "Hey, how's it going?" kind of hand on the
yeah, but still, well, the guy's running.
What a wasted free kick. Not complaining, but what a waste.
That's where the Valeri substitution would be harsh.
All right, let's quickly get into what
Valeri's service today hasn't been good either, but
no, but all of the Timbers' delivery today has been poor. But next week, no matter what happens in these closing minutes, Whitecaps are heading to Florida to take on TFC. They lost 4-2. They did not look good at all. Montreal, surprisingly, for me, looked very, very good. And what are you expecting from next week? Montreal pressed really hard. The way that Montreal pressed is how I see the Whitecaps going into that game next week. I think that's going to be their approach.
I think the way they pressed today would probably work pretty well. We haven't seen it that much because Portland. We haven't seen the successful press too much because Portland are really good at playing out of those situations. But just do the same thing next week, and it should be good.
And these connections right here are really good. The way they're moving up the pitch.
Yeah, like Dahomey, Cava, Caicedo, into some of the midfielders. It's like their interplay has been absolutely wonderful tonight. We've got such a dangerous attack. I mean, play like this next week, I fancy us to take points. Ooh, what a save again by Max Crepeau.
Whoa.
So it looks like they called Nerwinski for offside on the second goal, and he didn't have a lot to do with the play. He just kind of stood there. But
really?
Is that what they called it?
Yeah. Like somebody corrected me on Twitter about it and everything. Like, yeah, it was an offside. And so that's kind of weird. And then just with regard to next week's game, I was wondering if I could just ask you guys first, do you anticipate any more of the new additions? Will any of them be available?
Gasper might be, based on the fact that Egbo was on the bench tonight, but I think that still might be a game too far for him.
And how about Cornelius and Owosu?
No, Owosu, I think it's a little bit.
Owusu's out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay.
Yeah, he's
and
got
Cornelius.
a hamstring. Cornelius could be, but they've been monitoring how he is.
Here's the thing, though, too. If they win this game, if they hold on here and win this game,
How much at a time now?
I think MDS is going to want to go start the same 11.
Oh, for sure. I don't see them going away from the 11, but at least they'll have some options off the bench.
Toronto, Michael, back to what you were talking about with Toronto. They made a number of changes, right, from what they did with in the Champions League, right? So I think they're I think
it was a very young team that was out in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a little riled up and wanting to get 3 points.
5 minutes of at a time.
There's a sub coming on.
I thought it could have been worse than that. So like MDS just needs to kill this off with subs now.
I just feel like that's too much time. I don't feel like there was very much wasted time in this second half.
The VAR review was
a good minute and a half at least.
Yeah, that's about it.
The
substitutions,
the subs.
There were no Whitecap subs. The Portland subs were fast.
There was a couple of injuries or like treatment because the Caicedo going into the keeper. So let's see.
Maybe I missed that.
Is coming on.
Do you know for TFC, Michael, is Pazuello going to be an option for them, or is he still?
I don't know. Actually, I think he's still
day to day, like week to week.
Yeah, I think they will be up for it after losing against Montreal. I hope we get better camera work because that was atrocious. I tweeted out it was like watching a FIFA game simulation getting played out. The players were so small you couldn't work out. If it wasn't for Bradley's big, bulbous, bald head, you would have had no idea who some of the players were. So at least we had that. Also, the TSN commentators, when Montreal got their second goal, their first reaction was to say, "Oh, it's a long way back for Toronto now, not well done, Montreal."
Yeah. Well, that's where you're going to hear it every time. Yeah. Ooh, that was a foul.
Austin in the comments talking about how Montreal used their speed effectively against Toronto today.
Yeah, which I think we've got that speed. That might be one where you want to put Raposo instead of Tybert in on the wing. So there's 3 minutes to go. Free kick for Portland.
Who's taking the free kick? 44. I don't know who that is.
It's Loria. Wildly unnecessary foul from Nerwinski there.
Yeah. That's a good description, Stephen.
See, this is just nervy time now.
Only one on the line. I thought there'd be more. Oh, that's
another poor free kick. Timbers have been terrible with their delivery today.
It wasn't even like a floating in there. It was just like a...
It was a bullet to his head.
Yeah. Well, who's now coming on?
So that's the homie off for Metcalf. So that makes sense because you want to shore that middle up a little bit. Take your time, Christian. Just don't you rush off the pitch here. So we've got 2.5 minutes to hold on. If they don't get the 3 points out of this now, I'm heartbroken, I've got to say. But I feel confident. We haven't even had a chance to talk about the European Super League stuff, which I had really hoped to delve into a little bit. I'm sure, Joe, you can do it on the preview show. But like, just quick thoughts on it. Let's start with Joe. What's your thoughts on that as a Man U fan?
Well, okay. So I when I was looking at this, I completely dropped my United fan hat for this. At first, I had the same reaction as most people. Like, it's kind of gross that it's kind of a power grab. But then I guess what I'm still trying to process is every tournament that we kind of like at some point was a power grab. So yeah, it's a tricky thing to...
Yeah, because I know when the Premier League started, it was like, oh, it's the big teams just wanting to control everything. And now folk act like the Premier League's always been there.
Yeah, and like the Champions League, they change the rules for qualification all the time, right? Like England used to have a playoff spot, now they have 4 spots, and the smaller teams, the smaller countries have to go through 4 qualifying rounds to get in, that kind of thing. Like, I don't know. It also, in the statement that the league put out, they said it would be a midweek competition.
Yeah, because initially when it broke this morning, it was making it sound like they were just leaving all the domestic competition and they were going to have this breakaway league. But it seems to be that if the FA and all the governing bodies don't sanction it and they go and do it, then they'll have walked away from the domestic competition. So this will be the only league that they play in.
But what I'm kind of wary of is people like Sky Sports, for example, in the UK, coming out saying it's a bad idea. Of course they're going to say it's a bad idea. They're protecting their own interests, right?
Well, yeah, because aren't the zone kind of...
Oh, we lost Michael. Well, 30 seconds left in injury time.
Oh, nerve.
But frankly, it is pretty clear that it doesn't suit the interest of small clubs in any of the countries involved. And I'm sure you guys have all read this, but from the end of the New York Times article that came out on the piece today, there's this quote from the Football Supporters Europe group, who that I thought was pretty spot on. They not only called the idea illegitimate, irresponsible, and anti-competitive by design, they also said, more to the point, it is driven exclusively by greed. The only ones who stand to gain are hedge funds, oligarchs, and a handful of already wealthy clubs. Many.
Oh, we lost David.
Oh.
It seems like there's some upper powerful people not wanting any of us to talk about it. But I think this is just almost done here. I think Portland.
Yeah, well, we're 25 seconds past the time, and the ball's at where you want it to be at this point.
And there's only been 2 substitutions, and they were less than 30 seconds combined to get off. So I don't understand why so much time has been added
your
on.
whistle, you big ball. Yes! It's in his mouth. Blow, man, blow! Yay!
Good big victory.
That is just immense. I cannot wait to jump on with MDS post game. He looks so calm.
Yeah, don't jump on him too hard.
Well, social distancing obviously as well.
Yeah.
Like quickly, Zach, just thoughts on the European Super League and thoughts on the Whitecaps win.
European Super League, Michael, I'm with you. I miss the old days of legitimate European Cup, Champions League, where you had to have won your league to get into it. I miss having the Cup Winners' Cup, where only you had to win a cup to get into it, and then you had a UEFA Cup, to have a competition for other teams that place high. I don't like how the Champions League has changed to just keep big clubs in it, I don't like I don't like some of the changes they made. So I'm not for this. I know Bayern is expected to be a part of it. They were not a part of the initial thing. Their supporters will come out against it in the same way, into the same effect of what Steven just read. In terms of this Whitecaps win, congrats to MDS and the players. A hard-fought win, and we now can we can see the cost of playing in the Champions League. This season has already it's been a heavy cost for all the clubs.
No team got a win. Portland and TFC, the 2 teams to lose. The other 3 got a point. Just quickly before we sign off, Stephen, what did you make of this Whitecaps win? What do you think this is going to do to set them up for the season?
I'm just going to gloat a little bit. You guys were all doom and gloom before the game. Can't happen. Going to get stuffed by Portland. I said, you know what? They played all the same guys. It's the first weekend of the year. It might just be that simple. I don't know. I'm going to roll with it.
You don't get the TSN feed. The TSN feed just put up the full-time score of Whitecaps 0, Timbers 0.
Yeah.
So they haven't even got the Whitecaps winning. They're that pissed off in Toronto with everything. Steve, what do you make of that? What do you think it's going to do for the Caps now moving into next week and beyond?
I think it's huge for them to get that opening win. They don't have to wait multiple weeks to get it. Although last year they only waited until the second game to get their first win, but then they had to wait a whole bunch of weeks just to play another game. So that's huge for that. For the Super League thing, I don't really care.
Okay. Right, we'll just sign off. Joe, do you want to give any final thoughts on the Whitecaps' performance, and then let everyone know where they can find you online and plug anything you want to plug?
Yeah, good performance by the Whitecaps. Some things to work on the defensive side, and maybe a bit of chance creation is something they need to work on too. But if you want to find me, you can find me at JoeDCVan on Twitter, or on the Preview podcast, which now has a feature that includes my wife. So make sure to tune into that in the middle of the week.
Yeah, the video for that was fascinating. Anyway, we'll move on quickly from that. Stephen, where can people find you online, and what do you want to plug for us?
You can find my podcast on Twitter at radio_Cascadia. Thank you so much for having me on, Michael. This was really great fun. Really enjoyed it. And looking forward to talking with you guys again soon.
Always a pleasure to have you on, Stephen. I always feel we don't really talk much about the game when we're doing this. A couple of folk had asked me if we're going to be doing this for every game. No, because you don't. It's hard to enjoy it as much when you're doing this. So we'll do it for special games. We might do the odd kind of post game kind of live show or something like that as well. But yeah, Joe's back with the preview pod, so make sure you check those out. Zach, where can folk find you online?
On Twitter, it's at ZacharyAM.
And Steve?
And on Twitter at Whitecaps Beat.
I'm Michael McCall. Find me on Twitter at AFTN Canada. Check out all our stuff away from the numbers, aftn.ca. We'll have the match report up that I just realised I haven't actually written down anything for, so that's going to be fun. I might have to watch this game back to do a match report. We've got a slew of podcasts that come out in the last week. If you haven't caught up with those, do that. We're going to bring this out as a podcast as well. It'll be episode 444. That should come out Sunday night, Monday morning, and then Monday night, Tuesday morning, I'm going to bring out a podcast with some extra audio that I've got from the week and a couple of interviews I've done, including a fascinating interview with the Whitecaps doctor, talking about what it's like being in Utah, how they've had to change their training regime, everything like that. It's a really, really interesting chat. If you're interested in watch-alongs, follow our Twitter because we're doing an East Fife one on Tuesday. You may as well watch it if you're at home. What else have you got to do? Thank you for everyone that's watched live. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Sorry if we didn't get to all the questions. I was having a little bit of internet instability here.
Gordy says he wants the record to show that he was correct. This watch party was more entertaining than the match itself.
Well, that's good. Thanks, Gordy. Thanks to everyone that's watched live. Thanks to everyone that's watched on review. When I end this, guys, it's just going to end, so I can't say bye to everybody after this. But thank you so much for giving up your time tonight. Thank you for joining. Hope everyone's enjoyed it. We'll be back soon. Until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And mon the